30 seconds to start. Times you need a reminder, and which is health is wealth, right? We all heard of it. We all have known of it. However, in the current scenario with things happening, changing drastically, how much of it do you remember? It's about being conscious, to recall, to remember. You know, before I begin anything further, I first want to thank everybody who's joined us here under one roof for just about one purpose. The purpose for a better tomorrow and a better health. Thus, ladies and gentlemen, to my respected members of the media and press, influencers, my friends from the team Abbott, and everybody present here, thank you for joining us this afternoon. The question remains about diabetes, a thought. A raise of hand here, how many of you are aware of the word diabetes, and how many folks in your family or friends or colleagues are actually diagnosed with diabetes? A raise of hand, please. That's most of us here, right? That's actually the thought as well. It's across India. I wouldn't go into the numbers right now. However, I'm going to tell you about one clear thing. In the last 4 years alone, there has been a surge of 40% in diabetes. Why? How? Well, that's a Pandora box I do not want to open. However, what can fix it is what we're here for. What can manage your diabetes? And how? How to monitor, how to make things better. Of course, monitoring is one aspect, but there's much more to artists and a fellow influencer. Give me a round of applause, please. I really thought you'll give us the loudest round of applause, actually. I'm waiting. Okay. Now, joining them, we're going to have our very own director, Regional Medical Affairs Director for Asia Pacific Diabetes Care, Abbott. Please welcome from all the way Singapore, Dr. Kenneth Lee on stage with a round of applause, please. So now we got two with examples, one with the technology part of it, but we need to know and call somebody how on everyday basis you can change things, tweak things, and manage diabetes. Thus, please join me in welcoming with a round of applause. Our next panelist is Eileen Canday on stage, right, on dietitian, expert in insights to play a pivotal role in diabetes. Give me a round of applause, please. And together for all our panelists, may I request you to please give a round of applause, because here is where we start conversations, ask questions, and thus get to know what and how things can improve, be managed for a better, happy life. Before that, I want you to please grab onto the mic and just say hello to us, so we know the mic is... Okay, Sameera's mic is already given a hello.
Hello.
Okay, Majri ma'am, hello
Hi,
to me.
everybody. Can you hear me? Yes. Yep.
Okay.
Hi, everybody.
Good afternoon.
Okay, that works then. Sameera, I'm going to ask a question to you first. Because you've seen it, you are living with it, and thus the first question goes to you directly, that what challenges did your family face when your mother-in-law was first diagnosed with diabetes?
So, hi, everybody. First of all, thank you for coming today. You know, the interesting part is that diabetes runs on my mother's side. So, unfortunately, my grandmother on my mom's side, she passed away with diabetes. It runs in the family. So, all three girls were very aware. And so now we manage my mother, who is pretty highly diabetic. And obviously, we're all stressed, right? Because it runs in the family. And that's how we have a history of knowing very well how to start taking precautionary measures as, you know, the third generation. So I was pretty well versed, but when I met my mother-in-law 15 years ago and my husband, I had no idea that they would also be diagnosed because I was always protecting myself and being careful because of my side of the family. And, uh, and 6 years ago, in one of the tests, her sugar spiked, and then we realized she's diabetic. And then my own husband, 4 years ago, at 44, I don't know if you've seen my husband, Akshay, he's very fit. Wakes up in the morning, does yoga, very careful, unlike my mother-in-law. He's very, very, very fit. And I was so surprised it happened to him. So the misconception that people who are unfit or lead very unhealthy lives, I mean, it even happened to someone like Akshay. And that's my history with understanding this it's not spoken enough about. I think we're educated enough, and it happens to be only when it's in your family that you take notice. So that's how when it happened to her, I was very prepared because my mother actually is the first person who used the Libre sensor. So, so through my mom, now my husband, my mother-in-law, I was already ready because I was like, oh, I know how to use it. Here we go, mom. That's it. So that's how the whole history of understanding what it entails and what you can do to help with it.
I'm glad you mentioned about the fact that, not many of them are aware of the entire thing, but when you get the pinch, you start asking questions. I have another question, a follow-up on the same, that how has technology changed the way you help Manjari, of course, manage diabetes on a daily basis?
So, to be honest, and I'm being very, very honest here, I mean, we do also fight. We make fun reels, we adore each other, but we also fight. And one of our biggest fights is food. It's really bad because she's like a child. And she wants fried food, she wants her sugary stuff, and every time I'm like I think all caregivers will know that, you are like the bad boy over there. You're like sitting there and constantly saying, no, 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 no. And it's like actually going back to either I'm telling my little 6-year-old, ye mat khao, and then I'm looking at Manjari, I'm like, ye mat khao. So it's like the same, situation, but different age groups. And that's where I think technology comes into play. When you have a product that is so seamless, that's an everyday, like a sensor that's on the body, but just seamlessly allows me to not pressurize her and feel pressurized. We know what the glucose levels are at, we know what foods to give, and we're not making her conscious, and I don't feel like I'm scolding or like I'm, saying don't do this and don't do that. She has to feel independent, she has to feel confident, and that's where technology has come into play in the most beautiful way. And I'm so grateful for it.
It solves a lot of questions and a lot of fights as well, right? Mama, I'm going to ask this question to you right now. Before this entire using the Freestyle Libre 2 Plus, how did you manage?
Oh my goodness, with all those bricks, post, before, after, 3 times a day, sometimes 5 times a day, I used to prick my fingers, take the readings. Sometimes I would forget. So what happens is, you don't know how it's affecting you daily. You're doing this on a ad hoc weekly basis, which actually is not the way to go. The minute I put this on, I used to love fruit in the night. It said, no fruit in the night. Yeah. Early morning, poha. Poha is very good. Not early morning. So what it did was, it told me what to eat when. I can eat everything. I eat my bit of chocolate, I'll eat my bit of sweet, but that's only after a midday meal. So what they have done is created technological magic. Now, I know, okay, I can eat this at this time, but not at this certain time. That has helped me so much.
The tech magic, we call it, truly has made you live your life at fullest without putting restriction to what you want to eat and when and how you want to eat, right? You speak about technology, I'm going to direct my question towards Eileen. Eileen, how does CGM technology such as FSL2 Plus have help personalized dietary choices for better glucose management?
Very good question. In fact, the CGM has helped both the healthcare professionals as well as the patients. So whilst we hear what Manjari, how it has benefited her, as a healthcare profession, it helps the doctors, the nursing, the diabetes educator, as well as the dietitian. So for my side, it's just not giving advice which is general or something like a guesswork. It is very precise. Today we are talking about precision nutrition, and we talk something that is tailor-made for that, for the person. So it's not only an advice, but I think it's an empowerment. Empowerment for the patient to make his or her own choices. Even the patient, when I explain to them what they have to eat, and they eat something, they know that their levels, what their levels are, whether they are in the time and range. So what I mean is, the doctor gives them a particular range in which they have to know that, yes, this is the range of my sugar. That is something that is a critical point. So if they're going down, they know that they need to probably eat a quick acting sugar. If they're going up, they probably take an action. It also indicates how much insulin you need to take. So they can adjust the insulin, or if it is something even more, like an emergency, they can even contact the doctor. So they don't have to wait for the emergency or don't have to wait for things to happen. They are empowered to take that decision. Like, as Manjari said, the favorite breakfast of India, I would say poha, Imagine the patient's eyes really say, like, please don't say no for poha, And whilst it's very difficult for me to say no for poha, I give them actions in how they can have it. So, you pair foods. You can pair it with a protein and a fat food. You can pair it with fiber. You can pair it with curds. So that is one way in which you can eat your favorite food and manage it by tweaking it a little bit. Maybe also go for a walk after that. So there are many ways in which we can plan a strategy, because this is our monitor. Basically, it's our report card. We are seeing, it's like a movie that we are seeing. It's so, fascinating that you eat something and now you're waiting like, oh, let me see what the food's doing and how it is working. So I think that is the beauty of the entire CGM technology.
The right amount of food, the right kind of food, because physical activity, mind wellness, it all puts together for monitoring the entire things, right? Thanks so much again. I just want to ask this from a layman's point of view, Dr. Lee, because you're from Abbott. For me and for everybody to understand here, from a very mass perspective, that can you explain how does the Freestyle Libre 2 actually plus work? How does it function?
Sure. As you can see, Manjari has the Freestyle Libre 2 Plus sensor on her arm. So it's a wearable. You place that particular sensor on the arm. For the Freestyle Libre 2 Plus, it lasts for 15 days. You can wear it on the arm for 15 days. You don't have to remove it on a daily basis. And it monitors your glucose every minute. So, for 15 days, 24/7, monitors his glucose every minute, gives you the data, it's real time, sends the data to either a phone or in some cases a reader. And what's more important is there are optional alarms that you can set. So for a caregiver or even for the patient living with diabetes, if you want to be highlighted, when there is a low glucose or even high glucose, you put those settings in. It's optional, but it gives you that opportunity and that choice to be empowered to make decision choices on your lifestyle, your medication, dietary choices as well. When the sensor is placed, what it measures is interstitial glucose. That means glucose that's floating around in the fluid at the part of the arm area. Very different from the blood glucose. A lot of people previously, they always associate blood glucose monitoring with interstitial glucose monitoring. With CGM, with Freestyle Libre 2 Plus, it measures the glucose, it gives you trends, it gives you more information, but it's not exactly the same. It's fairly similar, but it's not exactly the same. And the beauty of it is you do not have to finger prick. You run away from that inconvenience of having regular blood glucose monitoring that needs that finger prick for both type 1 as well as type 2 diabetes patients.
Well, thank you so much for enlightening all of us how exactly it functions. I'm going to go back to Manjri ma'am right now. You know, when you first were introduced to this entire thing, when the first you got to know, Sameera came to you that, you know what, you need to start using this product. What was your take? Did you like stop yourself, think about it, and said, Sameera, no? What?
That she did not want to, I think she was worried that she thought, here goes one more thing to make Sameera jump on me and say, ye mat khao. But she gave it a shot, and after that, I'm telling you on her behalf, she said, I'm the best daughter-in-law ever. No, she didn't. I just want to say that. Because it helped her become more independent, you know. But I will say, which she will not tell you, that beginning, she's like, no, I don't need it. And that's what most diabetics say. I don't need it, but no, you do. And the fear of having something just there monitoring you is actually then turned into,
I'm also very stylish. So I don't know if I want to wear that. Yeah?
but she wears
But it's
it
fine.
beautifully because it goes on everything she wears. And that also is because it's not very big. It's just a small little thing on the arm. I think that's what really worked for her.
Also, what works is, like he said, no pricking. And a 24/7 monitoring of the glucose continuously. I just have to look at my phone, which really changed life. It's a life changer.
It's also become a fashion statement for you, the way you carry it so beautifully and boldly. And I must say that, you know what, wherever you are, regardless of distance, you know what's happening to you versus using your phone right now. And I think that is a game changer here.
Let me add there that along when it tracks her glucose levels, as the caregivers, we have the Libre Link Up app, so we get to also track it simultaneously. Yeah.
So imagine.
The whole family is watching, no pressure.
Exactly. So you're traveling, you're on a holiday, but you know what's exactly happening, right? That's the best part of it. I'm going to come back to doctor here. Eileen will tell me now that 40% surge in the last 4 years. Yeah. What has been the reason behind it? What changes should one really be considerate about or be conscious about in order to stop this or manage this? Stop is not really a word, but manage this. How can one do this? But the big question, the surge of 40% in the last 4 years.
Yeah. We all are aware that since the past 10 decades, since the past a few years, the lifestyle that we live is also changed. Okay, today you have your Uber at your doorstep. You can order your groceries, your food deliveries in 10 minutes. You don't need to climb stairs. You are doing a 10-hour job, but 8 hours you're sitting with adequate stress. We know that stress, sleep, everything affects the sugars. So what I'm talking is not only an urban scenario. Even if you go to the rural India, you go to a normal kirana, you'll find not things that are left loose, but stacks of, chips, sugary drinks, and that's what they're taking in their tiffins. That's what everybody is eating. That's the snack. And we all know that the snacks or whatever we eat, even pre-meal, will affect the following meal. So although we say that we are having light dinners, but we are having a heavy evening snack. And most of the snacks today that are available easily for us is a combination of carbohydrates and fats. You look at all the evening snacks, right from biscuits to bhel puri, pani puri, name it, and you have it as a combination. Even the puffs, the rice puffs, the jawar puff, what we so-call
I'm
healthy.
smiling away.
Yeah.
Because I'm feeling like I should have bought her in front of you way before.
No, all these puffs, and these are actually all carb and fat combinations. So what we are doing is we are having naked carbs. So that has what has changed. So people will feel that they're having healthy foods. Oh, I'm having healthy biscuits. Oh, I'm having a healthy granola bar. Oh, I'm having healthy. But what health actually is will actually be seen directly on your CGM because you are having a naked carb. And when I say naked carb, I mean you're not having it with fiber. You're not having it with proteins. You're not having it with the good fats. So even when you're eating like a fruit, I tell them to pair it with some nuts. So there's blunting of the spikes.
Sounds a lot, but one has to really follow this entire thing to be powered with, no, mine is a diabetes right now, but Dr. Lee, the question comes to you now. The way things are going right now, looking ahead in time, how can continuous glucose monitoring, particularly solutions like the Freestyle Libre 2 Plus, help individuals make more informed lifestyle and treatment decision?
Great question. It's about seeing and understanding their glucose. I think for most patients living with diabetes, they do not know what they do not know. But when they know, they need to make those changes. And they only know through monitoring of their glucose. Glucose is important in managing the diabetes, but till the point where we had CGM, prior to that, it was difficult. It was inconvenient. It was cumbersome to actually measure glucose. For those who looked at biomarkers, they have to visit the physicians once every 3 months to do what we call A1C, which is an average glucose every 3 months. But now with something that is on your arm for 15 days, you can measure average glucose every day. You can measure glucose for the average of 15 days, and you can see trends. It's minute-by-minute reading. So data gives that patient and also the caregiver in the ecosystem, Sameera mentioned Libre Link Up, the healthcare professional as well as the family, the opportunity to see that data, to make those immediate changes that are important. When the glucose is too high, when the glucose is too low, you do not wait for things to happen. You are actually empowered to make those active, immediate, insightful choices at the point in time. Only with technology that has happened. Been very blessed to be part of that technology. CGM, Freestyle Libre 2 Plus, has been used by 7 million users worldwide. And that attests to the opportunity for patients living with diabetes to be able to manage their diabetes so much better. Working with care teams, the dietitians, caregivers, nurses. I think that's that one step forward, and that's why we call it This is Progress.
Absolutely, one step ahead towards a happy life, right? So, probably the last question of the entire lot right now, that how, did adopting the Freestyle Libre 2 Plus change the caregiving dynamic to you? And especially someone balancing work and home and care responsibilities, what's your take on this?
I think the best part about the new Freestyle Libre 2 Plus sensor is the fact that it is minute-by-minute update, which is without scanning. So even that little bit of, Manjari, scan your arm, that's also taken away. And that is just another, as I said, for me to empower her, for a caregiver to empower and also not to feel like we're, sitting there and, just constantly following up. It's just taken away one more layer of that. And that's what I'm most happy about. It's automatic. So now it's seamless. Now it's just part of the whole plan. So through the day, we just monitor it, can just look at the app, can see what's going on, so that even that little bit of, the arm going up, in fact, she forgets, She still goes like that, and she goes, oh, wait a minute. When we put on the new sensor, now she's like, wow, this is amazing. My own mother, yesterday when I got to Bombay, and this is really cute, it was literally, I was telling the team this. So I went with the new sensor, and I said, we put the new one on her. And she goes, oh, wow. And I said, we don't have to scan your arm. And she goes, what? Really? Actually? Amazing. And I realized such a small, but such a big difference, yet such a big difference. And I'm really grateful that you all have innovated and worked on a product that was already working. And I'm seriously thrilled about that. So thank you, by the way.
Advancements to technology
Yes.
is exactly what we are doing right now. Any last thoughts, Eileen?
So it's important to know that, and we all know that all foods are not created equally.
True.
Yeah. And also, we do not eat the same food every day, right? Besides that, we realize that even if that same food is eaten by two different people, the way they respond to glucose and the way they spike their sugars is very different. It's not the same. So I think these kind of variabilities are very important, and it's important for us as a dietitian to understand this when we are prescribing a personalized diet and personalized nutrition plan. Because it's not only about the food, that spikes the sugar because it doesn't spike same everywhere. There is a curve that forms. Some people spike fast and go slow. Some people spike and stay up. So those kind of variabilities do happen, and this glucose variability could be a cause for metabolic disorders. So we can prevent that in advance. Also, the gut microbiome, everybody's is different, and the way it reacts with the spiking and the sugar is way different. So I think the CGM is something that will allow us to be precise, to have a tailored nutrition plan and a lifestyle plan, whether it is sleep, activity, exercise, stress, and everything cumulative, for the person to lead a healthy lifestyle, and they are empowered, they know what they have to do. And I think the bottom line is that we should make use of technology when it is available.
I totally agree with what you're saying right now. Body type differs from one to another, and having a CGM monitoring you know exactly how and where to go forward, right? Dr. Lee, any last points?
Yeah, 2 A's, 1 B, and 1 C. Those are my last points. The first A, amazing. So I'm privileged and I'm humbled that Abbott has been able to bring the amazing technology to patients living with diabetes worldwide, but more importantly in India, where patients living with diabetes need the monitoring technology. And as we continue to, with events like this, create awareness, thank everybody for coming, but also, spread the awareness of knowing that your glucose needs to be managed and monitoring it with a device that is a wearable for the 15 days, 24/7, minute by minute. That's amazing and awareness. B, bring the sensor to me. The sensor is here today. Bring it on. Bring the sensor to your loved ones living with diabetes, your friends and caregivers who may need monitoring of the diabetes. And lastly, C. C not just for CGM, which is continuous glucose monitoring, but care. I think it's about caring for either your friend, your colleague, your family member living with diabetes, providing that care and making sure that that care is continuous, is 24/7. Those are my last words for today.
Thank you, Dr. Lee. Sameera?
I'm really looking forward to I think what I really enjoy is that even yesterday, when I posted a story saying we've done this, and and as I said, I was looking forward to, I've already received so many people saying that they use it. So the beautiful, the silver lining is that there's a lot of awareness, and I hope that with the new set of the generation, that not only are we going to take precautionary measures to make sure that we don't get to this space, we also create more and more awareness that products like these exist. And so the overall system is not as stressful as it usually was. But I think the need of the hour is precautionary, eating healthy, eating right, educating yourself, and that can only come, when we speak like this. And that's what I'm looking forward to. And to make sure that maybe our generation coming up doesn't go through this, and they'll be so much better equipped.
Being more mindful about what
Yes.
lies ahead in the future. Ma'am, before I ask you the last thought, you should know one thing about ma'am. Ma'am is actually wearing white, and just pay attention to her ears. She's got the butterfly. It's not a butterfly? It's a dragonfly. Okay, so I'm being a man, creativity is very less.
No, but
So
I
we
have
call-
to admit that it was with a thought. I got the earrings for her, and I was trying to do butterflies because, as you know, it is on the box, and I thought that was a cute little...
Give me a round of applause for that beautiful initiative taken by ma'am. Ma'am, any last thoughts? Any last thoughts?
So, as a person who's lived with diabetes for 6 years, it got discovered just by chance. I wanted to do cataract and just went for the test. And it was in the 300s.
Oh my God.
Till then, I didn't know. So I have seen consecutively how I have had to deal with it, how I've had to call the technicians over, do that HSBC or something. And
HbA1c.
that.
HBC.
So,
I love it.
so it's been not easy. But since she got it home, and since I have been trying this out, I think what you said about being mindful has finally entered. You see, because it tells me on my phone, what are you doing? So that is a changer. And like I said, honestly, it's magical. I like that.
I think the key word that I'm going to take back from this entire discussion is that magical innovation, magical movement forward. But if I want to summarize this together, I just want to add 2-3 pointers. Of course, mindfulness, conscious thinking, what you're doing, how you're doing, what you're eating, how you're eating, and exactly made for every individual, right? But the flying thing about this is, regardless of where you are, on a holiday, at work, work trip, you know exactly what's happening to your family, your friends, your colleagues who have it on your phone. And that's where the future stands tall right now. May I request you to please give a round of applause for all our lovely panelists right now. As I request you to please stand up and join me for a group photo, because this moment, we want to capture it together for what is called moments. And I want everyone to please give a round of applause. I request ma'am to please kindly join me this side, and ma'am here as well. And how about lovely audience? Give a round of applause. A lovely 4 panel that we have today. No, I wish I had more questions to ask you all, but please be mindful. I have so many questions that I want to ask you, General, but I think 20 minutes has been a great time of learning. And please do not leave, because, you know, this is exactly what happens now. The next 1 minute, we actually bring to you something absolutely refreshing, new, and all that matters to the future, as we spoke about right now, innovation, technology, and what and how you manage your body and body type in order to monitor and control your diabetes. All right, folks, now here is when I'm going to request Sameera and Manjri ma'am to go onto the other side of the stage, and Eileen and Dr. Lee to be this side. Because, you know, we've spoken about it, we have heard from the 4 of you, but now is the time we see something new that will be directed by the 4 of you. So I want you all, on the count of when I say 5 to 1, to actually look behind and just direct your hand this way. The moment you do so, Eileen, this side. Dr. Lee, here. Because the one back side, they'll flip now, okay? Well, ladies and gentlemen, friends and folks from media and press, all lovely influencers, Team Abbott, it's now time. We heard of it. We know exactly what the future looks like. But this is where we bring to you something absolutely new, something absolutely nice, innovative, presenting to you in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, now. To the round of applause, everybody together. Freestyle Libre 2 Plus. Flash glucose monitoring system with sensor is here for all of us. And now you manage, you monitor, give a check on what's happening to you and your loved ones, certainly. Well, thank you so very much, everybody. I want the 4 of you to be more close together. Well, we take this moment to click pictures right now. I like Manjri ma'am, it's directing the entire thing. Yeah, let's the color vibe together, white and white together. Look at that. I like it. You're living at fullest in the moment. All right, in 3, 2, 1, can we have a round of applause for the beautiful reveal and launch together and a photo that's definitely going to be a game changer in the coming future. But, you know, we have the 4 of you. There is a dragon that you have. I will still say butterfly. And there's a butterfly everywhere. How about we literally bring in the butterfly? Yes? Can we have the butterflies, please? Okay. Don't worry, you've got the permission to have this butterfly with us. And license, can we have, yes, 1 box to an individual. Now, this is going to be on my count, okay? Folks, don't blink your eyes. You will miss out the best moment today. Okay? And remember, when you have to remove the box, like a ta-da, in like that. Let's go. 3, 2, and let's go! And there is butterfly to butterfly. Moments to moments, happiness to happiness. Exactly what we're here for, the Freestyle Libre 2 Plus together with a sensor. And yes, can I request you all to please hold on to that? And yes, a butterfly and a photo for what is in the moment. I again want to thank everybody here from the team, Present Media, my friends from Team Abbott, of course our influencers, and everybody present here today. Thank you so much for joining us here. Okay, I want to thank Dr. Lee. Thank you so much for your time on stage. Eileen, thank you so much again for your time here. And I'm going to keep those two lovely ladies to also be in center. Well, you can be in center here now, two of you. Thank you again, Dr. Lee. Thank you so much again. I request you to please be seated. And Eileen, thank you so much again. Okay. Do you have that? Anyone? Any questions? A couple of questions we can take right now from our friends from Present Media. Do you have any questions?
Amber, don't we do one-on-ones? But
Okay.
how are we doing? Very shy audience. Rohit, any questions?
Any questions?
No, I think we can take the...
No questions? Okay, so I think I do not have a question, but I have to say something to the two of you. Thank you so very much for adding a moment of happiness here, because, you know, people, especially in India, you know, when they think of the word diabetes, there's so much stress and tension, right? But I think the example the two of you have given to so many of us there, it's made life easy for generations to come ahead. So thank you so much for that. And can we have a round of applause, everybody, for Manjri and Sameera. Thank you so much again. And I will take the mic from you and Madam. Thank you again. And thank you to all our friends from Present Media for being a part of this beautiful afternoon that only gives much more perspective, clarity of thought in terms of how do you monitor and manage your diabetes. Of course, that being said, add much more of the diet change, physical